up, boys and girls? We are here playing a Euro Truck Simulator 2. Back on this, I love this game so much. It's just so fun. We do have a topic to talk about today, and this might be a long video because I can rant on a ton about the specific topic, which I'm sure you've already seen in the title of this video, assuming I title it that. But anyway, I'm not driving my beautiful truck here. We're just going to load into a quick job, if that's cool with you guys. The question is, which one? I want something... I mean, these would be fun. We'll do this one. We'll go to Italy. France to Italy. That's fine. All right. So, topic. Let me pull it up on my phone here. Let's get driving first, shall we? Got me in the Mercedes. That's fun. All right. Let us slide on out of here. Looking in the mirror. Looks like you got some construction equipment. I didn't even look to see. You know what? I just embarrassed myself. Oh my gosh. I just completely missed the exit to this place. Or did I? Where am I backing this thing into? Alright, you know what? We're going to try to do a nice little U-turn. Am I stuck on something? This is already off to a terrible start. What am I stuck on? Oh, no? For a second, I thought this was a double articulated trailer, but I guess it isn't. I am really confused. Just keep this thing backing up. Just keep it going. We'll just go over the grass. I don't care. Oh, that might have been what I was stuck on. About to hit that pole. Back it up. All right. Let's try. Swing it. Let's... Ladies and gentlemen, this is off to a terrible start. This is so bad. Oh, I think we got it. I think we got it. There. All right. Now we're good to go. Let me pull out my phone. I got my list here. Okay, and then we can rotate. You're gonna... All right. It would help if I turn my lights on, won't it? And not cut corners. This is bad. I'm in... Oh, man. Am I stuck? Why is my truck moving? Oh, you know what? I know what's wrong. This trailer I'm hauling sits very low. Just clipping that curb got me. I see the issue. All right. Let's turn our brights on and let's get going. All right. So the topic of today's video, I'm going to talk about my top 10, I don't want to say favorite games. These are like the, what I would say are the 10 best games ever made. And I have my reasonings for it all. Okay, there's no stop sign there. We're good. So, trigger warning. This is my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion, and I don't care if you like my opinion or not. It's my... You know, I just made him stop, but I can't look. I don't want to reach over and... We've already talked about this in the last video. It's all good. Alright. So anyway, might as well get started. We got us a long 8-hour trip. Did they really give me a truck with a half tank of gas? That's just stupid. And I'm just briding everyone, aren't I? Alright. So, top 10 games that I think are just like the top 10 games. Again, opinion, this is to me. I love these games for various different reasons. And, I mean, some of them might be on your list. Who knows? Or at least a game in the same series, you might prefer a different one than I do. One specifically, I know a lot of people prefer a different game than the one I chose. But that's part of it. We're just going to whip it on in here. I'll fill up real quick and then I will. I just took the trailer off. I always forget what I have mapped to turn the engine off, and it's that one. Okay. Let's fill this thing up. How much is this going to cost us? A lot. A lot. 1,000 euro. Woo! That's a big boy. We got a big boy tank in this. Now, I forgot. Does the company pay? Yeah. By the employer. Cool. So let's not get any damage this whole trip. I'm so glad no cars were coming. Anyway, to my list, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Number 10, Portal 2. I kind of hate the fact that I rated this one in the 10 spot as opposed to higher, but... And I should preface before we go any further. This list can be almost in any order. I love all these games for different reasons. But Portal 2, back to my number 10, I think is just an absolutely great game. Very cinematic. Especially, well, Portal 2 more than Portal 1. Gosh, I just loved it. Loved the story. I loved going back to old Aperture. That was really fun. Stephen Merchant did a great job portraying Wheatley. I don't know who plays GLaDOS, but they did an amazing job as well. It's just a really well-made game. But the main thing for me is, it is a puzzle game, which does kind of ruin the replayability because you remember the puzzle solutions. I mean, it is what it is. Furthermore, the portals themselves, even to this day, I get the biggest smile on my face when I put 2 portals down, look through it, and see myself or whatever else. The technology they use behind those portals is just amazing. And it looks great too. The game is aged so well. Like, I could just play that nonstop. Kinda. Again, back to the replayability. It is a little just because you remember Portal solutions. I do like, however, the co-op in Portal 2. Even that is just really fun. It was a great addition. I was iffy about it, but it ended up being one of my favorite parts of the game, honestly. That's about all I can... I'm trying to avoid spoiling too much, even though I did say you go back to old Aperture, but... I mean... Expect spoilers, I guess. I'm going to try not to reveal too many things, but I'm also going to try to talk as much about the game as I can. Roundabouts are always fun. But yeah, number 10, I have to give it to Portal 2. It's just a great overall game, a really good experience. If you do want to play it, I will say this stuff. You can find it on PS3, 360, and Steam. It is made by Valve after all, so of course it is going to be on Steam. Let's see if I remember what my cruise control is. Well, it's not that. Turn my brights on, I guess. There we go. So, Portal 2, number 10. Moving up to number 9. This is another fun one. Fallout 3. Now, I really didn't want to put a Bethesda game on this list. I have a real love-hate relationship with them, which I kind of do with a few of these other developers as well, now that I think about it. Fallout 3, though, is I have to admit, playing a lot of racing games growing up on the PS2, and mainly like some linear action adventure games, Fallout 3 was well, almost my first experience with sort of the RPG style of gaming, leveling up a character, getting skills, and progressing in that sense. And the open world sort of storytelling. It was my introduction to that. Around the same time, I did play the first Borderlands, which you could argue is also RPG elements and so on. But Fallout 3 I really love, and I've gone back and played it many, many times. Actually, before we continue, I do want to say again, or not say again, say it for the first time. All of the games on this list I have played well over at least 10 times, with the exception of one, because I'm currently playing the series and I've only played the game through once, but it's so good I had to put it on this list. So, back to Fallout 3. Fallout 3, I loved it. I loved Megaton. I loved the guns. I know you can't aim down your sight like you can in New Vegas. Arguably, New Vegas is the better game. But I just love the Washington, D.C. setting. I love the characters. I mean, you got Three Dog. For those of you who have never played Fallout 3, this means absolutely nothing to you. It's just a real memorable game to me. I even love, I think her name is Moira, the girl in Megaton who does the Wasteland Survival Guide. Like, I loved everything. Just had so much character and personality to it. It's just such a great game. I truly do love Fallout 3 a lot, and you're going to hear me say I truly love whatever game a lot. It's really good. It's still one of my favorite RPGs. Like I said, I've played it many, many times. It is around that era, though. I am all over the place on the road. It is from that era where everything had filters, you know, PS3 sort of era. Fallout's got sort of that grayish green filter. Then you got Grand Theft Auto 4 with the brown filter, Battlefield 3 with the blue. It was just kind of the trend in gaming, but it's got a charm to it. I kind of like the games that have those filters over them. I think it gives them that sort of art style that they want to hit. It's enjoyable. I can't complain. Again, yeah, compared to Borderlands, which I could have put Borderlands on this list, but Fallout 3 I feel like more of an RPG. It's got a lot more skills and better story, honestly. Overall, I just really love the game. Fallout 3 is one of those games I'll never forget, and I love it. You can find it, if you're interested, as always, you can find it on 360, PS3, and I want to say PC, but I don't recommend it. I've tried playing it on PC. It just crashes constantly. I've even bought it on Steam, GOG. You won't be able to play it consistently unless you got like a Windows Vista computer. I mean, some people have got it running with mods. I have just been unfortunate and can't get it to. So, yeah, it is what it is. We'll just move on. But going in to the number 8 spot, honestly, the only racing game featured on this list, Need for Speed Underground. And this is where my opinion might be different than a lot of people's. I prefer Underground over Underground 2. I know what is wrong with me, right? Underground I just really love. It just hit better for me. I think it's because I played 2 a lot later in life. I just got more nostalgia for the first Underground. I mean, when you launch the game and you're greeted to Little John's Get Low, or I think it's Little John's. I might be wrong, but man, it just hits. It's a whole vibe, that game is, as the kids would say. But it now, gameplay and everything aside, it's great. But one reason I do put it on my list, it came out at a time I was really young, first of all. And we're gonna raise? Cool. Very impressionable. And not only that, it came out around the time I think it came out between the releases of Fast and Furious 1, and it came out closer to around Fast and Furious 2, which those movies have shaped a lot of people my age. Like, those movies are kind of where we learned about cars. And bringing Need for Speed Underground into it, it's the idea of taking normal everyday cars, souping them up, and, you know, I get more excited when I seen the tuned up, like, Honda Civic over a Lamborghini. Like, I like the everyday cars that people put the work and effort into to make something really awesome. Or like the Honda S2000, or even the Toyota Supra, even though nowadays that's a pretty exotic and expensive car to get. I just love it. I love the idea of it. I love the racing and the street racing aspects. I love the vinyls, the bright colors. I just enjoyed the styling of everything. And, you know, watching those movies and then playing that game, it's really what made me like the cars I like today and everything. So it holds a special place in my heart, and if anything, it deserves a spot more on this list than any other game. Like, when making this list, that's the first game that popped into my head, which is kind of crazy I didn't put it in the #1 spot. But Need for Speed Underground, it's on a PC, original Xbox, and PS2, and definitely, if you're into driving games or car customization, that dude's going to rear end me if I get over. So is he. I want to get over. Don't make me brake. Okay. Yeah. And even on top of that, it's where I learned to use manual transmissions in games and stuff, you know? It's just, man, I love Need for Speed Underground. Once again, I need to go back and play it, which I want to go back and play all these games just because talking about them gets me all excited. It just reminds me of how good these games are. I'm going to turn cruise control on. I didn't even think about that. All right, I'm getting my phone up. The screen went dark, and I'm sending a text as well, so hopefully I don't cause a wreck here. And, yeah, don't text and drive, kids. That's your warning for the day. All right, let me see here. It's hard to do this. All right, and then we pull my list back up. Are we slowing down? It's weird. All right, so where are we at? We are at number 1. That's 10, 9, 8, 7. Number 7. Now, this is a controversial one, probably. I'm going to go out and say it. Final Fantasy 2. I'm going to let that sink in while I swerve all over the road. I can't drive today. This is awful. Let's see if I can get in front of these guys. There we go. Final Fantasy 2. I know most people, if they had to choose a Final Fantasy game, I just ram that thing. They would choose Final Fantasy 7. My opinion, though, of all the Final Fantasy games I've played, which, to preface this, I've played 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 7, and that's it. I need to play more, I'm aware, but Final Fantasy 7 is not my favorite. It's a great game, I won't deny it, but it's definitely, I think it's a little overrated. I'm sorry, just my opinion. But Final Fantasy 2, why I like it, I like the older games for sure. They're just classic JRPGs, and I'm in love with them. But Final Fantasy 2, well, first of all, Final Fantasy 1, I almost put it in the spot, but the reason I choose Final Fantasy 2 is mainly due to the fact that it has a named protagonist. You get partners that join your party and then leave throughout the story. Final Fantasy 1, I just feels like a really generic go through the game, you're done. I feel like Final Fantasy 2 has more of a story, and it's more structured, and it introduces a lot of the series staples like Sid and just other things. Like, it is to me the first pure like Final Fantasy experience, and I think even every game after it is more closely related to 2 than it is 1. Now, I know 2 has its issues, and I didn't mention the issues with the other. Well, I did with Portal. But one thing I do believe is, like, if you love something, you should be able to find flaws with it and critique it. So I'm going to sort of talk about my issues with some of the games. I probably missed Need for Speed and some others, but we're moved on from that. There's some parts of Final Fantasy II that are just kind of like, why would you design it this way? But it's still a great game overall, and I really enjoyed it. I know some people don't like the job system, but I thought I had fun with it. I had a lot of fun with the game, and I recommend it. I do recommend the new Pixel remasters that are on Steam, because I think those are definitely the best versions of the game, and they do take out some of the grinding, which is a reason a lot of people can't get into the games like that. So definitely go into the Pixel remasters. Even as someone who's played a lot of Final Fantasy in their life, I definitely prefer the less grindy elements in the Pixel remasters, because it's just a better overall experience. Especially with the early games, they were learning. They didn't have the formula down perfect yet or anything. This truck is very slow, and I hate it. And yeah, I just think Final Fantasy II is really good, and I love it a lot. It's definitely one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. Like I said, you can get the Pixel Remaster on Steam, or if you want, you can get the originals. The Pixel Remaster does use the Game Boy Advance version, which I think, with the original trilogy, I think the Game Boy Advance versions are the superior versions compared to the NES. Dude, I do not want to take this exit. Thank you. So, if you want to play the NES versions, you can. If I could stop veering off the road and not look at my phone, we're going to have to slow down here anyway. Yeah, the Pixel Remasters, great. You can play the NES versions, they're good, but they're going to be a lot grindier, and they're not going to be as pretty. I think they have the black backgrounds, and it was definitely before Final Fantasy became what it really is today. So definitely recommend the Game Boy Advance version or any of the remasters or re-releases that they've done. So moving on to, I don't have this list numbered, which was a big mistake. So that was what? That's 10, 9, 8, 7. We're on 6 now. Now 6 is the only game that I haven't played more than once. Sorry, I had a little hiccup there. Haven't played it more than once, but it is so good I just had to include it on this list because I'm not done with the series yet, but I love the series. I'm addicted to it, and I'm just having a blast going through these games. But Yakuza Kiwami 2. I know a lot of people say Zero's great, and it is. Kiwami is kind of boring. Still a great game, but story-wise, I don't think it added too much. I mean, I guess it kind of introduces Haruka, which is kind of important for literally all the plots from the games going forward. Haruka is like the most important character. But Kiwami 2, the villain was so well written, the story was good. It had its moments, sure, it was a little crazy at times, but mainly the villain, Ryuji Goda. The best villain in, well, I really like Kuze in Zero, but Ryuji is on a whole nother level, man. It reminds me a lot of Voss from Far Cry 3. Like, he's just tormenting you in such a classy way, and he's not... This hill's destroying this truck. Man, I don't want to spoil anything. I really want you guys to play Yakuza Kiwami 2. It's such an amazing game. And in normal Yakuza fashion, big open world, well, not big, but a very jammed-packed open world with lots of stuff to do. You can get lost for hours and hours just in the side content. It's such a well-designed game. The voice acting's amazing. And so far, of what I've played of the series, for reference, as at the time of recording this, I'm currently halfway through Yakuza 5. And Kiwami 2 is just, nothing has come close to it. It's an absolute masterpiece of a game. And I'm sure after I play it some more, go for the Platinum Trophy, and, you know, finish the series as a whole, I would not be surprised if I move this game up near the top of the list of my top 10, because it's very, very, very good. That's about all I can really say about it. And unlike the other games, I haven't played it over and over and over, so I'm not gonna have as many gripes or flaws I can come up with. What just happened? I need to get my eyes checked. I think... oh, jeez. I'm sorry, dude. Oh, no. Did I really hit that wall? I'll be honest. I was looking at it, and it didn't look like I was anywhere near that wall. But then again, I did look down at my list. Again, don't text and drive. Oh, I am losing money. Losing money because of that. Oh my gosh, guys, that's bad. Anyway, we're going to move on. My check engine light is... I just destroyed their truck. Oh, man. I'm glad this isn't my own, though, because then I'd have to pay for the repairs. Oh, wow. Yeah, engine light's on. I don't know what that little yellow light is in the center dash there. Oh, well, that's fun. Maybe I shouldn't do videos like this while driving. Oh, wow. Embarrassing. Anyway, moving on to the next one. I'm actually going to finish this delivery. I won't be able to do a time lapse. Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the number 6 spot. Or 7. No, not 5 or 6. It's 5. Now, I was going to say Silent Hill 1, but I just love Shattered Memories. In the same way I like Portal, how the effects are just amazing to me. Hey, it started back up. This is hilarious. Oh my gosh. I just broke this truck. They're going to be so mad at me. I really like Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I know it's less of a horror game because there's no survival elements. It's not even scary at all. It's mainly just walk around, solve puzzles, and I'll admit, it's not probably the best Silent Hill, but to me, I enjoyed the puzzles, I enjoyed the story, the plot twist, the reimagining of the original game's plot. I loved it. I loved Shattered Memories so much. Truly an amazing game. And like Portal, how the Portal effects are just mind-blowing to me. Playing Shattered Memories on the PSP or the Wii or PS2, that's what you can find it on, by the way. It's amazing. There's so few games that give you complete control of a light, because lighting is really hard to pull off in games. And I think what makes a really good game is really good lighting, especially in horror, because it builds an atmosphere. And the game Shattered Memories does it better than any horror game I've played. Being able to have complete control of your flashlight with the dynamic shadows, and even every individual snowflake that falls, and they fall constantly during the game, casts their own individual shadow. and it makes the game just look beautiful. It's genuinely amazing. Again, I highly recommend it. Obviously, like every other game on this list, I should just be quiet. We're gonna sleep. My dude's getting tired. Yeah, Shattered Memories is just really good. I was really impressed with it, and I played it on the PSP, which is probably the worst version to play. But yeah, this truck is not gonna make it. Yeah, Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I highly recommend it. Go try it out. I would emulate it. I know that's wrong of me to say, but getting a copy is extremely expensive. It's kind of a sought-after game. Definitely emulate it or crack your PSP and download the ISO file. Do what you need to, but definitely play the game. It's really fun. And if you're not into horror games, it is a great starting point. It will teach you all about, you know, puzzles, the atmosphere, but there's like no real horror elements in it. It's not a scary game at all. And that's one of the big complaints that people have with it, and I'll give them that. It is kind of, it's more of a puzzle game than a horror game. But personally, I like that. I think it's really fun. I enjoy my puzzles. Anyway, moving on. Hold on. Got another text. There we go. Moving on to the top 4. Number 4, Dark Souls. You can't beat it. It's just an absolute instant classic. It is so memorable. I've played all the Souls games, the spin-offs, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring. I've even played other Souls-likes. Nothing hits me like Dark Souls does. The bosses are so memorable. All the stuff like Solaire and everything else, and me weaving all over the road. Everything in that game is just so perfectly made. It's genuinely great. I love Dark Souls. I'm trying to speed this up. I want to give time for a time lapse. But yeah, Dark Souls is going to be my number 4. It really changed how I looked at gaming, because it's an experience that even other Souls games haven't given me. We gotta restart the engine here. It is such a just well done experience, and you should really give it a go. And don't quit. Force yourself to get through it, because that is when you're gonna really feel what makes the series great, is if you push yourself and get to the end. Because if you don't push yourself, you're gonna quit and be hollow. When you learn the lore, you'll understand what I mean by saying that. Try not to hit the sides of these tunnels anymore, my gosh. So moving up to number 3, Mafia 2. My gosh, I love Mafia 2. From the music in it, the cars, the time period. I am speeding. I've already spent enough money on traffic violations. Where do I need to be? Here? I guess so. Yeah, Mafia 2 is such a great cinematic story, especially if you like mob stuff. Gosh, it's so good. And again, really memorable characters. The gameplay is great. The shooting is a little generic. It is just sort of a cover-based shooter, but it does work. It works. It's really smooth, very nice. The game introduced NVIDIA physics, or whatever they called it at the time, and it's impressive. There's a lot of destructible environments. It's a very linear game, but I don't mind that. It is open world, but story-wise, it's linear. There's not any side missions in the game. But the game's great. DLC is great. I've 100%ed the game on both Steam, PS3, PS4 with the remaster, Steam with the remaster, and if they ever re-release it again, I'm gonna buy it again. I'm gonna save some time here. Why did I do that? I didn't see anything in my mirror. I thought it was safe. This has just been a disaster of a ride. Anyway, Mafia 2 is just a great game. It's short, but it's a fun one. I really enjoy it. Oh, can I not take that exit? Alright, you know what? I broke in enough laws. Might as well just go all the way with this. There we go. Are we stuck? There we go. Yeah, no detours for me. We're going for it. All right. Mafia 2, definitely check it out. It's a really fun game. If you like that sort of 1950s style, it has a more realistic driving physics than like Grand Theft Auto, which is part of why I like it. Obviously, I'm a fan of driving. Yeah, a lot of the missions are car-based too, so that is something to keep in mind. It's great. Great game. I love it. As I love every game on this list. Now, moving up to the number 2 spot, which I wasn't expecting to put one of these games on this list from this series, but this game is just so good. And that game is Call of Duty World at War. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That just spawned out of nowhere. Alright, do the people have hitboxes? I really hope they don't. They do! That means I cannot get... I don't think this is going to work. No, we're slowly getting by. Come on. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Tow truck. Tow truck. I don't know how to get a tow truck. We may have a problem. Like a big problem. Alright, I'll continue talking here. Call of Duty World at War is probably my most played game on this list. The game is dark, gritty, it's respectful to the events of World War II, and yeah, it's just, the gameplay's fun. It's that smooth Call of Duty gameplay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to have to load a different save. Or we're going to have to go... Is this right? I think so, yeah. It's respectful. It's got memorable characters. It's got Reznov, who is voiced by the one and only Gary Oldman. And then we got, on the American front, we have Kiefer Sutherland as Sergeant Roebuck, I believe. I don't believe he played Sullivan. There we go. Yeah. And it's the game that introduced the Nazi zombies, which is one of the best game modes in gaming. It's so addicting. Not only that, I believe it's the only Call of Duty that lets you play through the entire campaign with up to 4-player co-op. Not only that, it has the best multiplayer. Man, it's such a banger of a game. It really is. Yeah, World at War, man. We're getting into the, my top games here. I'm not going to find any flaws with these games. I genuinely can't think of one for World at War. And honestly, I think World at War could have been first place. First and second on this list could have been switched either way, and it would be correct. They're both just so good. The cutscenes in World at War are so well choreographed. They're beautiful, and they mix in real-world footage from World War II. And this was before everyone was such a wussy. So, you got swastikas everywhere. Like, it feels like an authentic World War II experience, and it's brutal. I mean, you pull out a gun, you're getting bonsai charged by a Japanese guy, and then, you shoot him in the arm and it blows his arm off, and he's like standing there holding his little stub that's bleeding everywhere. It's just such a dark, gritty game that honestly no game I've played has come close to that. It's gruesome. It really is gruesome. And that's just part of why I love it so much. It's a really well-made game. All the games on this list, my top 3, please go out and play them if you can. My top 3 here are just absolute masterpieces of the art form that is video games. Like, please, please, please play them. But we're going to go ahead and move on to my number 1 spot, and then I'm going to try to finish this drive without destroying anything else. My number 1 game, and for the people that know me, you're going to know what series it's from because I haven't mentioned this series yet. But the game itself is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Now, unlike World at War, I can actually give you some complaints about Snake Eater. Now, they are very minor complaints, but they are complaints. Now, the game is perfect. I love the healing system, love the survival mechanics. Now, play the Subsistence version. I believe that's the subtitle for it, or Sustenance, whichever. Or Subsistence. One of those was for MGS2 and one's for MGS3. But in that version, the original game was an overhead view like MGS2 and 1. But with the uneven terrains in the jungle and everything, with the re-release, they changed it to a third-person over-the-shoulder type camera. And that is the version I'm talking about. Like, that is the one you need to play. This is where that detour was. My only complaint with the game is the bosses. The boss herself is absolutely amazing. I love her. Voiced by the girl who voices Pearl from SpongeBob, so that's kind of fun. I don't know how I'm going to go. I'm going to have to go somewhere, turn around. Well, no, because it's in the tunnel. I don't know how else I would go. Oh, wow, that added 6 hours onto my time. Oh, jeez, that hurts. Anyway, the bosses, aside from the main bosses, specifically like Ocelot, the boss, Colonel Volgin, I'll be honest, it's not my favorite Metal Gear fight either. Like, I'd rather fight Sahelanthropus than the Shagohod, but, you know, that's just me. It was very anticlimactic for me. But, the other bosses outside of that, like the Fury, the Sorrow, whatever that stupid bee guy is, I think he's the Pain or something. I hated them. The Cobra unit was not fun to fight. They were not very memorable. Now, I say they're not very memorable, but the thing is, the ones that I do remember and are very fond of, like the End and then the other ones I just mentioned, those fights are so good, you don't even notice the other ones. Like, it's not that the other ones are bad, they're just like, they're just kind of like, who cares? They're just sort of gimmicky. But yeah. The game is just great. The gunplay is great, the stealth is great. The story, of course, is great. Like, I would say, if anyone wanted to get into the Metal Gear series, definitely start with 3. Because I know the PS1 graphics aren't for everyone. I love them. I would say start with 1, but 3's good because it's the beginning of the timeline. You don't need any background knowledge. It works. It's almost like if you were to watch Star Wars. Most people would say to start with 4, and you can, and be fine. And then you can watch the prequels to see, oh, so this is what led up to 4. That's all fine and dandy. And that's how I think of Metal Gear. But I don't think it's entirely wrong either to start and watch them chronologically. Like, Star Wars Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. I feel the same way with Metal Gear. I play them in order of release because going, say, 3... If you go chronologically and you go 3, Peace Walker 5... Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. You're going to have instances where they talk about the Leia 3 project or make references to things, and it's going to mean nothing to you because it's made in a way like you play the 1 and 2, then you go back to 3, Peace Walker 5, and you sort of fill in the gaps of the story. And it's like, oh, so this is what led to this. This is why things happened. Oh, this event messed him up because we know what happens later on, and yeah, make me spend more money. It does a great job at it, and it's really well written. Aside from 4, as much as I love 4 and how it's such a great game, it's a lot. Even being a Metal Gear, like, obsessed with the series, I'll admit 4 is just a mess of a game, or more of a mess of a movie. You watch it more than you play it. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 is really good. I highly recommend it. Like every other game, I have a problem with repeating myself. This video's gone on long enough. I'm just gonna stop it. I'll go through the list again. So in order, we got Portal 2, Fallout 3, Need for Speed Underground, Final Fantasy 2, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Dark Souls, Mafia 2, Call of Duty Cold at War, and Metal Gear Solid 3. I'm going to get to a time lapse because I want to show you guys me failing more trying to back this stupid trailer in with this broken truck after I just decided to go head on with a tunnel. So we're going to get into a time lapse. Yeah, before I go though, because I'm not going to mention my list anymore, leave your list in the comments below or tell me what you think of mine. I like open discussions. I'll even comment back. Yeah, give me your top 10 list or, whatever. Do whatever you want. Comment section's yours. Have fun. I'll meet up with you once I get to the location. guys, that was a fun little time lapse with a few incidents here and there. This has been an absolute mess of a video, mainly because it's really hard to drive, text. Well, first of all, don't text and drive or drive and look at a list on your phone. Like, pay attention to the road and what you're doing. I am proof of that. I should let that car go first. As you can tell... Okay, whatever. As you can probably tell, the music is playing, which means my delivery is late. But I don't mind. They got some pretty good music in this game. Thing is, you just don't ever want to hear it because you don't want your delivery to be late. Not only late, but also with your truck pretty much destroyed from a head-on collision with a tunnel. And I don't even want to know how much the cargo is damaged because I think, if I remember correctly, this was a fragile load. So, I screwed myself over on this one. I've lost a lot of money. And we are getting ready to see just how much money I lost. Can I redeem myself? Let's make up for all the stuff that happened during this drive and park this thing better than anyone's ever parked a semi before. Let's do it. I'm ready. Bring on the challenge. This isn't a power plant, is it? Alright, that doesn't count as part of the parking. I don't know why that didn't go in right, though. There we go. Ah, I still gotta hit the parking thing. Shoot. Can I get to it? There we go. Alright. Where am I parking this bull? Oh. Can I have my map? Looks like we're just parking right over here. Yeah, right there. So let's whip this thing around up this way. Alright. Time to redeem myself for this terrible drive. Wrong way. There we go. I went a little too much there. Let's get it back around. Well, that's I'm gonna pull forward a bit. I should have it. Well, engine malfunctions are fun. Alright. I like using this right mirror better than the left one. I think it's easier to see on it. Even though I do gotta switch sides. There we go. Straight on in there. Yeah. It's not gonna give it to me, is it? My trailer got a bit crooked. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the long video. I like to rant a lot about stuff I like, specifically video games. But hopefully it's interesting. You got to see me crash and mess this whole delivery up. Alright, let's see how much money I lost though. And then we'll end this video. Late. Got some experience. Hey, I made a profit. Actually, I don't think I did. That doesn't include any speeding tickets and stuff. No, I don't think I spent 9,000 though. All right. Well, there you go, boys and girls. Another delivery down. We'll be back on this at some point, and hopefully not one where I'm paying attention and actually drive. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.